I'm Janet.
I'm Jacia.
I'm Rachel, and this is Walk is Happening.
In this episode, we will be talking about our hopes for 2021 as the year of 2020 comes to a close and we begin 2021. So, should we first talk about at least where we see ourselves in 2021? Because 2021 is a big year for us.
So hopefully, because I want to study in Hong Kong, so I'm like physically, I hope to be able to study in maybe HKU or CU studying med. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Or like if not, maybe med related subjects like I don't know, pharmacy or biomed. And I think like other than that, on like a personal growth kind of level, I hope to maybe see myself being more social and being more out there, like being in a completely different environment, get to know other people who are maybe like very different from me. Because like in RC, I've known all of you guys for like many, many years. And in LPC, it's like we like live together like on campus. So I get to know people like on a deeper level. But maybe in uni, I get to see people like who are completely different. So hopefully I can like get myself out there. How about you, Janet?
Hopefully, I think because 2021 is such a big year for us, I hope that I can like become a better version of myself. I mean, that's kind of my hope for every year, but I feel like because it's the year we actually are seen as adults, like even by the law as adults, that we actually, or I actually, can maybe try to be happier or more content with myself. And well, academically, I hope I'm studying or I'm somewhere that I wish I want to be. Like currently, because I only applied to 5 unis and I've heard back from two. No, I've heard back from three, and I'm waiting to hear back on two. Well, I got rejected from Oxford, so I hope I'll see myself maybe UCL studying human sciences or maybe LSE, but I haven't heard back from LSE yet. So hopefully one of the two. And hopefully I don't fuck up my final IB grade. So yeah.
I also only applied to 5 schools. Hopefully, going to the UK, going to UAL, studying art, like pursuing an education in illustration. I mean, I just hope like I get in because right now I'm in the process of submitting my portfolio and then they'll get back to me with probably like before January ends. So yeah, hopefully I can make a decision and I'll be happy with it.
So speaking of unis, how did you guys choose like which universities to apply to and like where to apply to?
Personally, I think unlike you two, I never really had a firm decision or like a career that I wanted to get into that would guide me into making the correct or like the most suitable choice for my course. Like obviously, Rachel, you want to be a doctor, so it's a given that you would study med. And like Jay said, you always knew you wanted to do something like design related, so obviously you would go on this sort of route, right? But because I don't have a specific interest or career that like pops out to me, I think it was much more difficult for me to choose a course that would lead me to the right path. Like originally, well, maybe like not originally, well, yeah, originally, maybe until July or August of this year, even, I wanted to study business. And it wasn't until I actually started actively doing my uni research that I found out about the human sciences course. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. Like I can do anything. Like it's literally everything I like. It's bio, and I can do a little of like anthropology, I can do a little geo, I can do a little business, I can do a little like psychology. It's literally everything. And I was like, whoa, this is the perfect course for me. So that's when I decided to sort of ditch the business idea because I feel like it would be wiser to sort of do something more specific and then go into business. Like it's always easier to do specific and then go into business than do business and like, how do I put this? To go into a career that's related to business, I don't necessarily need a business degree. That's what I'm saying. And if I'm being honest, when I told my family that I wanted to do something business related, I feel like there's some sort of stigma or like some sort of like, oh, business, like anyone can do that sort of thing. Like that's not what I think, obviously. I wanted to do business at first. But I feel like that's the sort of impression people or like my parents and my family have, or like many people have about a business. And with the grades that I was getting, it's almost as if like they never really directly told me this, but I was getting the impression that they're like, you're getting this, like you're getting these grades and you're going into business, like really, like you can do better than this sort of thing. And I was like, fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I was really conflicted for a while. I was like, really, is business the right path for me? Like, I understand that business is really lauded or like competitive degree, say in the US, like business is extremely competitive to get into, right? I can think of so many business schools. There's like Wharton, like Kellogg, there's like Stern, and all of that stuff. But the thing is, I didn't want to go to the US, so that was a problem. So then, yeah. And well, in terms of the uni that I eventually chose, I kind of used my decision to pursue human science, something human sciences related to guide my decision. And I was using my PG as sort of like a guideline to like allocate the entry requirements to make a suitable range of unis that would be, I guess, more balanced and more or less risky.
UK was actually never my first choice up until like probably started this year, like started 2020. Like ever since my brother got into UC Berkeley, right? I think even before that, I always wanted to go to US. Like I always want to go to like maybe like UCLA or like one of those like, fun colleges like in the West Coast specifically, because I feel like I'm more of a West Coast person. And then even like when I went to the US about like 3 years ago to go like send my brother off to university. Like I was like, I went to San Francisco and LA, and I was like, oh my God, I love the life here, right? Like it's so like fun. Everything's like people, food, like I really liked it there. And then up until like I think it was because of COVID, all of the like political kind of stuff like in the US, it already like made me like a bit hesitant. And also the fact that I wasn't getting the grades that I wanted to like at the beginning of year 12. So I was like, wait, can I swear? I can, right? Okay. I was like, shit. I was like, what am I gonna do? And then the more I thought about it, the more, and I also thought about like how expensive it is, because it is like freaking expensive. And most art schools in the US, or at least the ones that I wanted to go to, are private. So it's even more expensive. That's like around what, 700K a year, like Hong Kong, a year, and it's 4 years. That's almost 3 million. That's too much money, like I feel like I would be like stressing my parents out even more. Like they have to like work even harder for me to go to university. So then I looked towards the UK, and it was always an option that I was gonna apply to anyways. But I think what like really like because I started looking at the UK and Canada, and at first it was like I'll go to Canada instead of US because it's close enough, But then I was like, UK in terms of like their art school, especially like UAL, it's like pretty freaking good. It has like a good reputation too. Compared to US schools, it's not that expensive. A bit less than half, I think it's also like still in a city, so it's not like too bad. And like I know like some of my friends are going there too. Like some of my really close friends also want to go to UAL. So it was, I think, the best option. And then when I got my PGs, I was like talking to my counselor, and then she's like, yeah, your PGs are like, you're probably gonna offer anyway. So then that's why I only applied to the UK instead of applying to Hong Kong or Canada, because Hong Kong, I really don't want to stay here just because for what I want to do, like illustration, it's it's not the best for illustration unless I'm like applying to SCAD, but I don't really want to apply to SCAD. Yeah, in terms of like what I want to do, Hong Kong was not the best option, and I didn't really want to stay here anyways. In Canada, I think it was just a bit, I wasn't really bothered, and I don't want to like
SCAD closed down.
Yeah, that's
in
what I
Hong
was gonna
Kong.
say.
Yeah, it closed, exactly.
Did they go like bankrupt, or not bankrupt, but like they just like pulled out because of COVID.
I think it was COVID, and it was also like the politics and stuff. So then they're like, all the UC schools are public, right? So for international fees, it's around like 500, like, so okay, 50,000 US dollars, or like, wait, no, okay, I'm just talking like Hong Kong dollars. So it's like 500K, right, a year. But then you have to like plus his like your accommodation, or like where he like, because he's like he has a house with like roommates, right? So it's like plus that, and like all of his like food and shit, like it probably around like 600K or like 550. And you consider like public schools, it's private schools, it's even more expensive. And especially the ones like in like East Coast, like Parsons, RISD, like those are like really prestigious art schools, like those are even more expensive. So it's a bit too much money for me. Yeah, and like I really like care about my parents. I don't want to like stress them out too much. So yeah,
that was the financial thing. Was also something I was considering applying to uni. I considered applying for Hong Kong as well, just because it would be so cheap. Like if I applied in Hong Kong, it would be like, I don't know, 50,000 Hong Kong dollars a year, because we're locals.
Yeah,
that's really, really cheap. That's like, I don't know, 2 months of tuition in the UK.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, should I apply to Hong Kong like just because it's so cheap? But then I thought about it and I was like, okay, so what if I get an offer? Am I actually going to take it up? Like, if I'm not, then why would I be applying? Like,
Yeah.
I get that it's better to like put your eggs in more baskets.
Yeah.
But then if I knew in my heart that if I got offers from like UCL, LSE, and I applied to Hong Kong for, I don't know, like business, like I wouldn't take it up. So there wouldn't be any point for me to write another personal statement. Like the laziness factor was also something I had to consider because my personal statement will be completely different, right? So that was something I was considering. And I was just like, okay, no, fuck it. Like UK it is, all in. And I don't know if I should feel a little guilty about it, knowing that I chose the more expensive option just because of my personal preference. Like I understand that I am the one who's studying this, so obviously I should do something that I actually enjoy. But at the same time, it's hard for me to not factor in other, really important factors. Like my parents, like we're lucky that our parents are the ones who's paying for our uni. So many people do like student loans and stuff, and we're lucky that our parents are the one who's going to be funding our university education. And so I'm just like, am I being selfish or is this just like normal? So that was a really conflicted dilemma that I was stuck in for a while.
So for me, I applied to Hong Kong and UK, and at the beginning, I didn't even really like consider applying to the UK. I thought of only applying to Hong Kong, but Hong Kong only has 2 medical schools, so I thought that would be too risky. So I was like, oh, I should probably also apply to UK just to increase my chances. But then for UK, I don't know, because for med, it's quite different because when we apply to UK, we don't just apply with our predicted grade. I have to also take the UCAT and the BMAT. So I have to take 2 additional exams in order to apply. And that adds in a lot of work. So I was like, should I really do it? But then, like, I don't know, just to play it safe, I did both of the tests. Both scores were mediocre. So kind of wasted my time studying for those 2 exams in addition to my mocks. But yeah, I applied to Cambridge, Imperial, and those kind of schools. But the scary thing is, I don't think I have a high chance of getting in because of my BMAT and UCAT scores. So, kind of regretting applying to the UK. This I'm pretty sure I won't go, even if I get in. It makes me sound so cocky, but like I don't want to go to the UK, even though like if I get into those universities, because I think it's hard if like I come back. This for med, we have to take like the exam when we come back to Hong Kong, and I didn't want to do that. So also laziness, didn't want to do that. So I think I focused more on the Hong Kong part of my application. So like for HKU and CU, my dad like graduated from HKU, so he was like kind of like brainwashing me to like apply for HKU and like get into HKU, and that's like one of the main reasons to why I want to study there. Yeah, and I think
So are you saying if like hypothetically, if you don't get into med school in Hong Kong, you'd rather stay in Hong Kong and do like, I don't know, pharmacy or something and wish that you can go into med school in second year than take up like a med offer from the UK just because it's easier to get a job? Or it's like, what do you mean?
like originally I thought of like going to the UK. If I don't get into Hong Kong, I'll just go to UK, study, and then come back. But then it kind of changed like a month or 2 ago. I just completely gave up on UK and I was like, I'm just gonna focus on Hong Kong. Like if I don't get into med, I'll just do some other related degrees and then try to transfer back in. Because like I think, to be honest, like UK sounds fun and like all that stuff. I don't think it's for me. Yes, I value my like comfort space a lot. Like even like in LPC, I go home a lot. I have to go like see you guys and see my friends from like RC a lot. So I didn't think like being in a like completely like foreign environment where I don't have a option to like go back into my safety zone would be like very good for me. So like I know it's not like the best way to live, but like I'm comfortable. So like I don't really mind.
That's interesting because actually the most excited aspect about 2021 for me is going into uni and actually meeting more people. Like that's the thing that excites me about the upcoming year. Like I'm really excited to meet more people and like branch out and yeah, let's how do I put I'm really excited to meet more just different people. I feel like the people that I'm surrounded by at the moment are all like pretty similar, like similar culture, similar kind of economic, social like status. Like I really want to meet more different people with really really interesting stories that are completely different to mine to just converse with them and experience not experience but listen to their stories, see how like the outcome of a different upbringing would change. I just like these things excite me, and I just want to meet more people and experience more things, at least for, I don't know, in my late teens and like early 20s. Like I just want to live a little. Like that's
Yeah.
what excites me.
Like
It's the start of a new chapter.
I already had that in LPC, so I kind of experienced that part of uni. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the thing with LPC though, right? It's designed to sort of emulate the initial experience of uni to prepare you for what uni life is like. But then, like, I feel like the way you took on your experience with LPC is like, you know how like when they give samples in like supermarkets of like different
Yeah.
foods, it's like if you when you eat it and you like it, you're like, oh, let me buy the product. But you took the sample and you're like, no, never eating this shit again.
Pretty accurate, to be honest.
Like, yeah, like, I mean, whatever floats your boat, right?
True.
2021 will be a bittersweet year. You feel it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bitter and then sweet. Like literally, the first half of 2021 is like we're gonna be grinding for the exams.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
May is gonna hit. All the bitterness will pass. Then we're gonna have the sweetness. Oh, in July we'll have like a sudden drop maybe because like of like results releasing.
Okay.
But then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
for the
That's
most
true.
part, it will be bitter and then sweet. We might not even have a grad trip, or I hope we will, but we might not even.
I hope like
But
like for me at this point, grad trip to like a whole different country, I think that's already out of the picture for me. I think a grad trip to really like exciting countries at this point is like next year is like probably not possible. I feel like going to a grad trip in like somewhere in China or like neighboring countries, depending if they still have a travel bubble. Like I think that's okay. But it really depends because then you don't know what's gonna happen like by then. So yeah.
what were your original plans for grad trip though? Like surely you would have talked about it before.
Yeah. So okay, I did actually have like a solid plan. Like there were a few places like I wanted to go to like Thailand or like Bali or like Korea. I think Korea was like one of the big ones because I've never been to Korea. And everyone's
Oh,
like,
really?
oh my, that's the response I always get. They're like, oh my god, you haven't been to Korea? I was like, yeah. Like I don't know why I was so surprised.
Really? You come across as a person who's like been to Korea at least 5 times.
Yeah, no, I've been to Japan a couple of times. But
Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah. So yeah, that was like sort of like what I wanted to do, like go to either Japan or Korea, or yeah. But at this point, like if I just go to China, it's fine for obvious reasons. But okay, yeah.
I feel like Korea and Japan are such like typical like Hong Kong people vacation choices.
I mean, she hasn't been though,
It's
so I
true.
think
haven't
that
been.
doesn't apply to her. But like personally, I wouldn't want to go to Korea as a grad trip with my friends. I'm thinking that just might be because all of us has been. And I've been like twice, I think. Yeah. So like we talked about this before. We want to go on 2 grad trips. So like one would be for like this is like the end. Yeah, it's gonna cost a lot. Like
So
like
much.
one is just like this is the end of secondary, beginning of a new chapter. Let's go all out. We're just gonna be like animals. Like we're just gonna go all out. Like that's one. And that's like the typical like, oh, let's go to Kosa type of thing. But then another one is where we suddenly act like we just retired and we want to go backpacking in Europe to look at scenery. It's so polar opposite. But then like that's why we want to go to 2. Like it's literally 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, but we want to do both.
I think like the Europe thing is more worthwhile when you're like maybe like when you're graduating university or like mid uni, because then like I feel like one, I think going to Europe is already expensive. Like it's probably a lot more expensive than if you were to go to like Kosa. And I feel like backpacking like it's gonna take a while, like probably like a good like month, right? But then I feel like when you graduate, like we graduate end of May, right? And then you have like June, July, so let's say until September around like 差不多, So then it's like 4 months. But then I feel like you probably want to like spend a few weeks like before uni, like to like move in and stuff, right? So then
Mhm.
your chances of backpacking is like kind of low, but it's a good idea. Like it sounds
The thing with-
fun.
The thing with backpacking, I think it will be much cheaper and accessible once I'm actually in the UK.
Oh yeah.
So it would be a better idea if we went back, because so many people's going to the UK anyways.
Mm.
So it might be a more feasible idea if it was during, like, I don't know, spring break of year one, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do want to go backpacking though. Like, I feel like there's so many like different scenic stuff I haven't seen before. Like, just
Yeah.
because we live in such a small urban city, and everywhere like we go in Asia is sort of like similar, I guess. Like South Korea and Japan, it's like we do similar things. Like if we go as tourists, then Thailand we do the similar thing. It's like the sun, sea, and like the beach sort of package. Then I swear that's all these are the 3 locations that Hong Kong people go to. Or like Taiwan. Taiwan's just like eating. And so is
spa.
like Shanghai and stuff, like that's eating. Spa is also like Thailand.
Mm.
Yeah. I also want to go to Machu Picchu in Peru.
I mean, I think it's probably like worthwhile. Like, yeah, like back like traveling. Okay, I think ever since we went to South Africa, I was like, I need to travel more. I need to
Yeah.
travel more and look at all of the shit I haven't looked at yet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also want to go see the pyramids.
Oh.
They're just so cool to me. Like they're so much bigger than I thought. Like I'm just looking at pictures on Google, but like, they're so cool. Like I don't know. Like, can you imagine like touching a pyramid? I don't know if we're allowed to touch it, but like sure. Like touching a pyramid and be like,
I touched
"The
I
Egyptians
touched the
built this."
Oh my god. What about you, Rachel? Like what were your plans for grad trip?
A completely different approach from you guys. I was just planning to go wherever my group of friends wanted to go. I'd just be there to eat, to see, to, I don't know, talk. Yeah, I don't really have much preference. Just depends on where everyone else wants to go.
Hmm.
But the problem is I don't even know like if grad trips, like where do I go? Because I want to go with my RC friends. But then my LPC friends also kind of want to do a grad trip. So I'm like, but it's expensive. So I'm like, where do I go?
Right, like you have to like choose one or else it's like
Yeah.
You can secretly coordinate a location that both
And then
groups
you
will
meet
end
up
up
with both,
going,
yeah.
and you live with both.
Like
Exactly.
half
Like
of
get that
the day,
coordinated.
I'm like, oh, sorry, like I have a stomachache. I'm going back to the hotel. And then I join the other group.
You can do it in staggered dates, right? Like
Yeah,
for
that's
example,
what
if
I
you go
was
to your
thinking.
with your RC friends to the same location it doesn't have to be the same location. Like you finish your graduate with the RC friends, then you take a flight to wherever your LPC friends are going and you meet up with them there.
That's sad.
That's so
You don't get the
expensive,
full
though.
experience, you know.
What do you
Oh, no,
mean? You're
You
going
get
on
the full
2 separate grad
experience.
trips. You get 2 full experiences.
No, but to have experiences.
But no, you finish the first one.
Oh,
And then you go on the
Then you-
second one.
I thought
go
you
on your
meant like you
second
go
one.
on half of the first one.
Oh
no,
no.
Just make them
Go
on
in
different
half,
dates
that's
so they
not
don't clash.
yeah. And that's not worth it if you go half.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
These are all if COVID grants
Yeah.
situations.
But you never know because COVID is so like it's mutating a
Mhm.
lot. I was talking to
Yeah.
my tutor yesterday. She's like, there's 23 like mutations in the new strain of COVID. Like 23. And I was like, that is a lot in such a like short amount of time.
If you want to learn more about the mutated coronavirus or like a lot about the social issues about COVID, you can check out at HKCOVSA, HKCOVSA on Instagram.
Nice plug.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
What if COVID doesn't let us go on a grad trip? What if COVID is just like worse? It's like it's even worse than what it was in 2020. Like, can
And
you
like we can't
imagine?
even go out. Like we're actually stuck at home.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
actual lockdowns. Oh my god.
Let's just hope everyone I don't know. I feel like everyone has the impression that like because it's a new year, it's gonna go away. But
Okay, speaking of like graduation and like the last day of school, like think it's gonna go. Like, are you gonna cry? Do you think you'll like miss it?
Yeah. I can't imagine myself not crying on graduation day. I cry so easily. I feel like this thing don't think that of me, but I cry so easily.
What? I cry easily.
I cry easily.
What do you? We all cry easily.
We all cry.
But I haven't seen
Okay.
you guys cry.
I
Cry for
cry.
very specific things though. There's some things that just don't affect me. I'm just like if some things that people cry about, I'm just like okay. But then some things I like get super easily emotional about.
Like I've seen you cry before, but I haven't.
Okay, yeah, of course.
I've
Not
actually
that
seen like both of. I feel like we've all seen each other cry. Have you not? Have I cried? I cried when you told us that you were leaving, like during prom. I cried a
Oh,
bit, the group cry, but I feel like I
But
cried
you
so easily.
you told us you were leaving in prom.
no. That's when you guys were.
I think before, but then it didn't hit me until prom.
Yeah, it didn't hit me until prom too, until someone started crying. I was like, fuck.
I think Cash cried.
Oh, I remember this now. Oh my god. You see, that's
Yeah.
the type of thing I don't cry about.
Ouch.
I don't know what it is. But like I don't know, 2 or 3 very specific soft spots that I can pinpoint. Like as something related to it. I don't know what it is. It just pulls on my heartstrings. The first one is like really sappy, like romantic relationships in movies.
Me too. Me too.
Same, same.
Like I know in my mind that this is so scripted. The acting is so bad. This is so cliche. But
But
it
I
gets
cry
me
anyways.
every
Yeah.
time. I get really emotional about like parents being really, really good to their children, like sacrificing for their children. For example, like domestic helpers, like being treated badly, and then I'm like, they have family at home. Like they literally left their home to work for they go on without seeing their children for like 2 to 4 years, like in a row.
Mm.
And like why are you treating them so shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like obviously not all of them are good. Like some are like I've had helpers who has stolen from us. Like obviously these are not like good people, but I'm sure they had their reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other soft spots?
Pets
Let's
really
get-
get me too.
Pets.
Pets?
Like those like I don't know, I watch TV shows about like people who are like caring for like the stray animals and then like the people adopt them and they film the entire scene. Those really get
Oh,
me.
that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But will I cry on graduation day? Yes. I mean I think I will. I'll know. I'll like see you guys, but like that's basically the last I think that's the last day that we're all as a cohort, but like are together.
Mhm.
Because you know, like we finish school like April for like study leave and you do the exams, right? And then that's the only time we get back together as like the whole like 150 of us. Sorry, Rachel. Just
Yeah,
come over.
it's hard.
Just come
Like
over.
I want to graduate with you guys, but like the people I'm graduating with aren't you guys.
Just
Like
come
no
over.
shade,
It's
no
fine.
shade, but like I also want to graduate with you guys. It's
You
okay.
can come to the ceremony.
Yeah. You can watch
Unless
and
it's
then
on the same
Photos and
day.
stuff.
Imagine it's on the same day. Oh my god, that would be so sad.
You know what's sadder? Last year, LPC graduation was like virtual, and then they had to like they made like this event where like everyone eats the same thing. But then like like some food like aren't like available in like parts of the world. So you know what their graduation dinner was? It was butter and
Ramen.
toast.
butter and toast.
No shade to LPC, but it's just kind of sad.
butter and
Yeah, they were-
toast
Like
for
Zoom
dinner.
eating butter and toast.
I'm pretty sure you can find like no shade or anything, but I'm pretty sure you can find very common like food to eat.
I don't know. That's his.
Even instant noodles is better than that.
Yeah, like oh my god, butter and toast. That's so sad.
I've been starting to really listen to not really, but I've been starting to listen to the High School Musical 3 soundtrack. Like it's their senior year, the graduation. And you know, like their last 2 graduation songs, like it hits me. You know the really upbeat song where they're on the field and they have like a human train and it's like it's the moment they graduate and then they throw all their hats up and they start singing. It's such an upbeat song, but the lyrics are actually really sad, okay? I'm like, I can relate to this.
So speaking of graduation and like, that's a wrap and stuff. We've been talking for quite a while, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like time to end it here for this episode. But before we do that, we should give our recommendations. So we can start with Janet first. That's your recommendation.
Well, okay, we're filming this on December 30th, so tomorrow's New Year's Eve. And I've been really getting into that vibe lately. I've been listening to Bruno Mars and Snoop Dogg and oh, who else is in it? Oh, Snoop Dogg, Bruno Mars, and Wiz Khalifa's "Young, Wild, and Free." Like the song.
That's
I like
cute.
keep listening to it on repeat because I feel like it really fits this end of year vibe. So yeah, listen to that. Well, I know this is gonna be releasing in 2021, but you can still listen to it. It's liberating.
So for me, recently I've been doing an edX course, so I'd recommend you guys to do that too. Like I think it's pretty fun. Like you get to learn about like something that you're interested in. You can like get a certificate for it. It's useful for uni apps. Like you learn stuff about the specialty you're interested in the future, and you can like use that in the future. So I think that's pretty cool. So
Oh my God,
edX
that's so
courses.
cute. My recommendation is listen to this artist that I really like. I started listening to him like for quite a while, but he's like a really good artist. His name is Mwak. M M okay, EMAWK. His songs are like really chill, but his voice is like so unique. I think it's worth listening to. Like any one of his songs is pretty good. So yeah, that's my recommendation. New artist for the new year.
All right. Happy New Year, guys. See ya.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.